Today is September 30th, and present with us is the events coordinator, Bruce Binkowski. And you want to lead us off, Bruce, on what's going on in your department?
Well, it's more than events now. The title of the department is Events Department, which does include events, obviously. And I've written it up here so you guys can read. I'm not going to go into great detail, but it also now entails we manage the fairgrounds completely. Our department does everything: booking, billing, invoicing, everything. Claims. We now operate Jefferson County Radio completely, working with Doug Dodds, but we do that. DiscoverJeffersonMT.org, our website that promotes Jefferson County. Course, somehow I got paying all the claims for course, I'm not sure how. Parks, Trails and Rec Commission, Ladana and I work with that. And miscellaneous, which is just a whole pile of things. So I just wanted to let you guys know that the events department is more than the events department. And even though I'm old, I'm in no hurry to go anywhere. And the other thing is, which I think is helps the county, is I work 25 to 30 hours a week. I'm not on the health plan. So I think I saved you guys a bundle of money there. So yeah, we're just involved with everything, brochures and printing.
Somebody say we were getting rid of him or?
No, I'm just, no,
He's in the defense mode.
I'm on defense mode.
I've been talking to a lot to him about his budget, so I think he's a little nervous that
Go ahead, shoot.
things are changing here, so.
So anyway, so that's it. I just wanted to let you guys know. So what do you got?
So are these the printouts you did, Ginger? Or?
So what I did was, and I did this last year. In April of 2024, I did this up and, projections were pretty good. We got more in interest than I had expected last year, but, interest income, but the events department is funded by Metal Mines.
And I'm gonna give this out too, because this really makes sense in my mind as far as the last budget, and give it up to Ginger.
Yeah.
Because this is a real simple
Yeah.
picture of what we were looking at budget time.
So this is kind of a projection. It started, Bonnie did this back in 2019, kind of a projection of when Metal Mines money would run out. And that can's been kicked down the road quite a few years, with some different changes that have happened. However, there's no more coming in. That's exactly what we're doing, just kind of slowing it down. So I've got where it's gonna end up with the end of this year, and then I did some guessing on what interest is gonna look like. That's just a guess, and where we'll end up at the end of next fiscal year, and then what we're funding right now with Metal Mines is planning, GIS, and events. So I did about a 3% increase, yes, each year to each of those departments of what we would give them from Metal Mines, meaning we would not be able to fund them in fiscal year 30. Where it is right now.
How it's set up right now.
Yes, that's with giving JLDC 110,000, but ideally that will trickle away too. So that still doesn't, that might give us another year. But other things that are happening is, the GIS department, I don't know. As we look forward, where that's going. I know Melissa has a lot of years in with the county. I don't know if she has any plans to retire. But even if she does, to replace her would be just as spendy as having her, if not more. Maybe if it was contracted out, then we would save like $14,000 on health insurance and stuff. So, but funding, planning, it's backfilling planning because planning does have a buddy. But having 2 employees in planning plus more duties that they've taken on now that the sanitarian is gone, I don't see that their budget going down at all. Especially the cost of living increases, the same with events cost of living increases. So this big sheet is just kind of a projection with some guesses on it that there won't be any metal mines for fiscal year 30 to fund these departments.
We'd be out of here by
I
then.
can hang around till just.
But yeah, and then this one just shows where the other transfers come from. I mean, what comes out of metal mines for each department, and then what comes out of PILT. So another idea for funding these departments is to come out of PILT. However, there are quite a few that are already taking from PILT. And
So help me understand this, Ginger. We spent about $472,000 on budgetary items out of metal mines this year and left us about $1 million. So in my mind, that only gives us about 2 more years of funding to, we must have some more inputs there, some more revenue.
I think interest is part of it.
if we get interest, if interest rates stay high, but interest will go down as we spend. And then we are owed some money from Clancy Water Sewer, about 30,000, not a ton, but that is helpful. And then what is the other? Oh, and then we get the state entitlement share.
Okay. And some of
So,
that goes in this fund.
yes,
Okay.
but that's a risky thing. They're always going after that at the same time, so.
That's already been brought up, I think, this year for the next legislative session.
Yeah,
Something.
so it's just a really, kind of volatile fund to say that we could get to fiscal year 30. With so many unknowns, and I don't know what the solution is, but it's something that I think planning should be thought about now, on how are we gonna fund events planning in GIS
All that.
once we run out of metal mines money.
I think one thing to throw out on the table that because the events department is fairgrounds, radio, which may go away in 28 or 29. Course, et cetera, all the things that now this department. Is there a way to eventually, because when I leave, I don't plan on leaving soon, but it'll happen. But I think you're gonna have to replace me with the fairgrounds, with the things we do. I don't think you can just do it like it used to be done with the volunteers and so forth. So
Right.
you're gonna have to have somebody, but if you don't have the funding from metal mines, is there a way to absorb some of these expenses through these other?
No,
But-
I was hoping the fairgrounds with the increase in fees and the increase of usage, that might be self-sustaining to be able to afford a few hours, whatever, per week or whatever for the fairgrounds. And then we can work on the other departments to a few more hours to get somebody maybe part-time to do what you're doing.
Well, yeah, it would be, I could see it being part-time, like I'm 25 to 30. And whoever, but what we do. It would be a challenge for a new person to come in and do this.
Right.
Part-time, it would be a big challenge. But we generated more revenue with the fairgrounds.
And the fairgrounds does have its own levy. So the fairgrounds is not getting metal mines money. And that switched when the first doomsday prediction was. So the fairgrounds has its own levy. It's just coincidental the events department is also but the fairgrounds does have its own levy, not enough to fund a full-time person, but it is currently paying for half of Bruce, roughly half of Bruce, and third of Holly.
Yeah, Holly splits with Melissa.
And
So
so
we're-
Holly split between GIS, fairgrounds, and
Events.
events.
And if the radio levy continues after 28, I think you said.
That's that.
So that would be another source of revenue.
Right, there's no personnel charge radio,
Correct.
it's just professional services.
Right.
On,
We don't spend a lot of that.
right, so. I think my biggest concern about it is it's the personnel part. Being able to pay at least one full-time person, which right now is basically what we're doing with this metal mines transfer to events, because it's part of you and part of Holly, so it's essentially right now one full-time person gonna pay for it, so, if that's to be maintained, then there's eventually that would come out of tilt,
That's the only place we can take it.
and, that would be, 100,000.
Right.
I mean, 5 years, how much it would be, today, a full-time person is basically 80 to 100. So. And that's not including in the operation, and there's a lot. In events, a lot of operations.
Yeah.
And you cut a lot this year for travel, I think you cut 17,000 out,
Yeah, we got 17.
so. I don't know what the answer is, but it's not sustainable. And the part of it is the Halloween event, which would become pretty self-sufficient.
That's self-sustaining. That doesn't cost the county any money. I don't we have about 6,000 or 7,000 in the account,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that,
and it's getting bigger every year. I hate those.
so. The other stuff is, advertising, between, what does that look like if there's no money to fund it?
That's you or Craig.
No, it's not my signature, that's the first one. That must have been assigned. That's this week. No, it's. It's not.
Oh, okay.
That was the one from what you had.
You're right, so I'll be asking. Sorry, Bruce.
No, that's all right.
So, yeah, so we just pretty much wanted to get in your head that your budget's slowly dwindling down.
Mhm.
If we got till 30, it might not be an issue.
We got time. We
Yeah,
got time to
time.
figure it out. But I think what we have to eventually figure out is when I hang up my cleats, who's gonna replace it and how you gonna fund it?
Right,
Because you can't leave the fairgrounds alone anymore.
right,
It's being run like it should have been run for years, but now it's being run the way I think it should be run. The radio, if it comes back, you need to do it. The events, I think a lot of the events that have taken place around the county is because of our events. They've gotten bigger and better. But yeah, you're just gonna need something, which I'd be happy to train when that time comes. But like I said, even though I'm old, I'm in no hurry. This has been great for me. Do you know this will be my 10th year in jail?
yeah, you came on right after
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. So,
Well, keep your eyes out for a younger Bruce Minkowski. Younger version of yourself.
oh God, good luck with that. But if Ginger's estimates are true, which would be pretty close, we got a little breathing, we got time. Because like I said, I'm in no hurry to go anywhere, but I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled, so we can have that younger.
But take that time with a grain of salt, because all that funding shifts with the wind as we're doing
Oh, yeah.
budgets. It's like, okay, well, we're short here, we may have to pull from there, so don't take that, we're gonna make it to 30, with that's what it may change next year where we only got a year left, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So we gotta,
But
we
what-
gotta,
2027, if they do mess with the entitlement, that's $43,000.
But if it gets to that, I could go to part-time, even harder time than I am now to make it work.
right.
So you've got flexibility. I'm not here for the full-time gig.
And you did a great job giving us some money back this year. It was very, very beneficial to making our budget this year.
We can't do that though with the fairgrounds or the radio, can we? Give money back?
So those are, so the radio is a voted levy and it's under the general fund. And that just kind of stays with it. It hasn't been separated out, but that's one of the things that I'm actually working on right now is separating out those voted funds from the general fund. But I mean, they stay with it. So the levy is, at the end of the year, you've got $50,000 left, then, that just goes to help your budget for the next year. It doesn't go anywhere else. Same with the events.
Mhm.
Whatever money you have at the end of the year. this transfer from Metal Mines is to help, it's that cash that you have at the end of the year, money from Metal Mines to fund your next year, so it doesn't disappear.
Yeah.
It just stays with that.
So those levies are specific, so like the radio, we'd have to look at the resolution and see if we could actually pay you some out of that, I don't know. if there's
What it
any-
could be spent on,
Yeah.
Right.
specific to whatever the resolution says.
Because that's a way we can shift some of that burden is to pay you some wage out of the radio instead of just whatever is coming out of there now, if it can support that.
Well, and again, the radio, honestly, FM radio is not what it used to be, so will the voters say, we don't want it anymore?
That's what I thought happened last time.
They didn't,
No,
they
they
went
passed
big,
They
So-
passed it.
yeah, but, or did they go to streaming or whatever?
Right.
I think a big thing that I'm trying to do in my office and that like I talked with the sheriff about is just all of the, as you go through everything is there a less expensive way to do it? Because at some point you're gonna have to do it less expensive.
Mhm.
For example, I just had to buy a scanner and IT told me it's, gonna be $850 and I'm like, geez. And I'm like, this has all this extra stuff. Do we need to have all this extra stuff on it? And then you found one for half the price when you looked at that. So, trying to cut back on trying to go as paperless as possible, like all those little things. Keep it tight, as tight as possible to try and preserve the cash that's there
Mhm.
and for the long, going in the red.
I didn't try to make this so big, this, everything that we're doing now, it's just supposed to be a little event stuff, and then it's just
Yeah,
expanded.
no,
It grows and you're doing a good job at it, and that's why the fairgrounds is where it's at, that's
I'm
why
really
it's
pleased
making
with
money.
it. Yeah, very true. The fairgrounds has really worked out, and honestly, Marilyn and I have really done it together. I mean, she's really been great. The rest of the fair board, they're involved, but not like Marilyn.
right.
But the fact that we're in lockstep is a good thing.
Yep.
So, and it's really, we've accomplished a lot out there.
Yeah.
And I will bring up this winter, the increase in fees, because I think we can increase the fees. Because we're, even what we have now, we're dirt cheap. But
Do you have any idea what the ratio is from out of county versus in county?
out of county, if you're renting, for example, the white barn,
No, I'm
Oh.
talking about
Oh.
reservations. Do we have?
most of them are out of county.
Almost all of them are.
Yeah. I mean, we do have weddings from in county, but a lot of them. But now people are getting smart, because then they'll say, my uncle Doolittle lives in Montana City, but I live in Deer Lodge.
Yeah,
And then, the
they get a
credit,
discount.
yeah, fills out the paperwork, so we're gonna have to
Figure that out.
figure that out. But we have increased the revenue at the fairgrounds. And there's a lot of things that happen at the fairgrounds that we don't get revenue, but still, that's what it's there for. The community stuff, so.
Well, it's on affordability, so there are some things that have to fall under that, but we do not, or so.
So, yeah, it might be shifting, like you said, separating it out more, having a part-time person or just one person part, when it is time that you decide to leave us, then having one person go to the fairgrounds
Yes,
and then maybe have some other department absorb the event stuff. I
that
don't
is
know.
a good thing. I do really think, though, the fairgrounds absolutely needs a manager. There's no question. But, and if, let's say you ran out of metal mines money, let's say tomorrow you said, we don't have any money for anything. Then I'd say, then let me run the fairgrounds. I'll do that part-time. So we've got options,
Right.
is what I'm saying. We're not gonna leave you hanging.
Yep, no, that's great.
Do you still? I used to get complaints all the time, if those radio stations went off the air or something happened with them, they would call the sheriff's office immediately, call after call after call after call. Is that still happening?
Going off the air,
Yeah,
we
I mean,
have,
not going off the air, but do people still
Notice them.
notice when it's not on the air?
yeah, I got a call from some guy in Lewis and Clark County, which doesn't help us, but apparently he says, why'd you change your music? Well, what had happened is Jefferson City had gone off the air briefly, and another station overrode it, so it was a rock station or something. And then we got it back on there, he called me back, says, okay, thanks, that's good. So
Because people really enjoyed it. back then. I mean,
people listen, but people are getting away from FM radio, even in your car now, even I, you'll listen to Sirius, you're not gonna. Well, I listen, but I'm back and forth, but it'll be interesting to see if it goes on, when it goes on the ballot in 28, 29, how the people react. That'll be really interesting. But if it goes away,
Surprise, like last time.
yeah, I was really surprised. It was easy too.
But that last levy was for generators and upgrades and all that. This new levy may just be strictly for maintenance and
Mhm.
personnel. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good,
Anyway, that's all I got. Any questions for me?
good job last night. Thank you.
Yeah, that
very
went
much
well, yeah.
For your support there. I'm glad we had the mic because it was loaded in there and.
Yeah. No, that worked out.
Zoom worked good and
Yeah.
everything, I think everything went as well as it could have.
And IT is gonna work on that second TV. We're gonna have to rewire.
And we didn't actually end up needing it anyway. I was gonna show a map of the facility area there and we just never had a chance to even do that.
Yeah. So,
Good, yeah. Did you get it all cleaned up or you need help cleaning it up?
no, it's all cleaned up. Went out
Oh,
there
wow.
this morning. It's done.
Good.
So we're ready for, there's nothing really going on until Halloween kicks in and then, no weddings this winter, thank God.
Not yet. You wait,
No,
you'll get one.
yeah, January. So I told them, it's gonna be cold. No. It was
Well, at
cold.
least now you don't have that big trailer heater thing.
Oh, yeah.
It'll actually heat it
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right. Well, anyway, that's, I'm pleased with how everything's going right now and how the department has come and how far we've come in the last almost decade, so.
Yep.
And the only other thing, I'll shoot you guys an email, my brother's a movie maker, he makes movies, and he's making a movie in Livingston. And I'm gonna be in it, Christine and I are gonna be, we're going to Livingston Monday, we're gonna be in a bar scene.
Nice. Perfect. Got your cowboy hat?
He's got costumes for us. And then in November, December, I make my annual trip to Amsterdam and California, but that's around Thanksgiving and Christmas, so. And then we'll hit the ground running with ski joring in January and. Then before you know it, it'll be spring again and
Start all over, huh?
there we go. We've already got 5 weddings next year, the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, a weekend music event, 2 graduation parties. So it's already booked. So. You guys want a copy of all the stuff or does it matter? Oh, there you go.
Thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you guys for having me. This has been great for me and Christina. Oh my God, she's on the planning board, runs the clinic building, the TIF board, subs at the high school. Oh, yeah, elections. Judge, is she?
She needs some more stuff to do?
No. All right, guys.
Just a little time.
It's a privilege to work for Jefferson